Hi everybody, welcome back to Bible in a Year. My name is Natalie and today we're on day 164. Welcome to the channel. I'm so happy that you're here today. We are, Fred's a little chatty. We're going to be reading out of Deuteronomy chapter 25 and 26, Isaiah chapter 49, 1Corinthians chapter 8, and then we'll close out the day with Psalm 94, but only verses 12 through 19 today. So let's get started with Deuteronomy chapter 25. I tried opening the door to see if that would quiet him down, and it doesn't sound like it. So I don't know what the answer is, folks. I hope you enjoy him. All right, Deuteronomy chapter 25. Here we go. If there is a controversy between men, and they come to judgment, and the judges judge them, then they shall satisfy the righteous and condemn the wicked. It shall be, if the wicked man is worthy to be beaten, that the judge shall cause him to lie down and to be beaten before his face, according to his wickedness by number. He may sentence him to no more than 40 stripes. He shall not give more, lest if he should give more and beat him more than that many stripes, then your brother will be degraded in your sight. You shall not muzzle the ox when he treads out the grain. If brothers dwell together, and one of them dies and has no son, the wife of the dead shall not be married outside to a stranger. Her husband's brother shall go into her and take her as his wife, and perform the duty of a husband's brother to her. It shall be that the firstborn whom she bears shall succeed in the name of his brother who is dead, that his name not be blotted out of Israel. If the man doesn't want to take his brother's wife, then his brother's wife shall go up to the gate to the elders and say, My husband's brother refuses to raise up to his brother a name in Israel. He will not perform the duty of a husband's brother to me. Then the elders of his city shall call him and speak to him. If he stands and says, I don't want to take her, then his brother's wife shall come to him in the presence of the elders, and loose his sandal from off his foot and spit in his face. She shall answer and say, So shall it be done to a man who does not build up his brother's house. His name shall be called in Israel, the house of him who had his sandal removed. When men strive against each other, and the wife of one draws near to deliver her husband out of the hand of him who strikes him, and puts out her hand, and grabs him by his private parts, then you shall cut off her hand. Your eye shall have no pity. You shall not have in your bag diverse weights, one heavy and one light. You shall not have in your house diverse measures, one large and one small. You shall have a perfect and just weight. You shall have a perfect and just measure, that your days may be long in the land which Yahweh your God gives you. For all who do such things, all who do unrighteously, are an abomination to Yahweh your God. Remember what Amalek did to you by the way as you came out of Egypt, how he met you by the way and struck the rearmost of you, all who were feeble behind you, when you were faint and weary, and he didn't fear God. Therefore it shall be, when Yahweh your God has given you rest from all your enemies all around, in the land which Yahweh your God gives you for an inheritance to possess it, that you shall blot out the memory of Amalek from under the sky. You shall not forget. Chapter 26. It shall be, when you have come to the land which Yahweh your God gives you for an inheritance, possess it, and dwell in it, that you shall take some of the first of all the fruits of the ground, which you shall bring in from the land, which that Yahweh your God gives you. You shall put it in a basket, and shall go to the place which Yahweh your God shall choose to cause his name to dwell there. You shall come to the priest who shall be in those days, and tell him, I profess today to Yahweh your God that I have come to the land which Yahweh swore to our fathers to give us. The priest shall take the basket out of your hand and set it down before Yahweh your God's altar. You shall answer and say before Yahweh your God, My father was a Syrian, ready to perish. He went down into Egypt and lived there, few in number. There he became a great, mighty, and populous nation. The Egyptians mistreated us, afflicted us, and imposed hard labor on us. Then we cried to Yahweh and the God of our fathers. Yahweh heard our voice and saw our affliction, our toil, and our oppression. Yahweh brought us out of Egypt with a mighty hand, with an outstretched arm, with great terror, with signs, and with wonders. And he has brought us into this place and has given us this land, a land flowing with milk and honey. Now behold, I have brought the first of the fruit of the ground, which you, Yahweh, has given me. You shall set it down before Yahweh your God, and worship before Yahweh your God. You shall rejoice in all the good which Yahweh your God has given to you and to your house, you and the Levite, and the foreigner who is among you. When you have finished tithing all the tithes of your increase in the 3rd year, which is the year of tithing, then you shall give it to the Levite, to the foreigner, to the fatherless, and to the widow, that they may eat within your gates and be filled. You shall say before Yahweh your God, I have put away the holy things out of my house, and also have given them to the Levite, to the foreigner, to the fatherless, and to the widow, according to all your commandment which you have commanded me. I have not transgressed any of your commandments, neither have I forgotten them. I have not eaten of it in my mourning, neither have I removed any of it while I was unclean, nor given of it for the dead. I have listened to Yahweh my God's voice. I have done according to all that you have commanded me. Look down from your holy habitation from heaven, and bless your people Israel, and the ground which you have given us, as you swore to our fathers, a land flowing with milk and honey. Today Yahweh your God commands you to do these statutes and ordinances. You shall therefore keep and do them with all your heart and with all your soul. You have declared today that Yahweh is your God, and that you would walk in his ways, keep his statutes, his commandments, and his ordinances, and listen to his voice. Yahweh has declared today that you are a people for his own possession, as he has promised you, and that you should keep all his commandments. He will make you high above all nations that he has made, in praise, in name, and in honor, and that you may be holy people to Yahweh your God, as he has spoken. The commandments are just so hard. Wow, but boy, if they could have accomplished it, that is just, it's such a contradiction. I mean, God is saying, if you do all this, oh, you are my people. And then the commandments that are supposed to be followed, the commandments and ordinances, are rough. I mean, the whole take off the sandal and spit in the face, and oh my gosh, it just, and all the other things we've read before. I wish we could have handled it. Anyways, Isaiah 49. My mind is kind of swirling right now. Listen, islands, to me. Listen, you peoples from afar. Yahweh has called me from the womb. From the inside of my mother, he has mentioned my name. He has made my mouth like a sharp sword, and he has hidden me in the shadow of his hand. He has made me a polished shaft. He has kept me close in his quiver. He said to me, "You are my servant, Israel, in whom I will be glorified." But I said, "I have labored in vain. I have spent my strength in vain for nothing. Yet surely the justice due to me is with Yahweh, and my reward with my God." Now Yahweh, he who formed me in the womb to be his servant, says to bring Jacob again to him, and to gather Israel to him. For I am honorable in Yahweh's eyes, and my God has become my strength. Indeed, he says, "It is too light of a thing that you should be my servant, to raise up the tribes of Jacob, and to restore the preserved of Israel. I will also give you as a light to the nations, that you may be my salvation to the end of the earth." Yahweh, the Redeemer of Israel and his Holy One, says to him whom man despises, to him who the nation abhors, to a servant of rulers, "Kings shall see and rise up, princes, and they shall worship." Because of Yahweh, who is faithful, even the Holy One of Israel, who has chosen you. Yahweh says, "I have answered you in an acceptable time. I have helped you in the day of salvation. I will preserve you and give you for a covenant of the people, to raise up the land, to make them inherit the desolate heritage, saying to those who are bound, 'Come out.' To those who are in darkness, 'Show yourselves.' They shall feed along the paths, and their pastures shall be on all the treeless heights. They shall not hunger nor thirst, neither shall the heat nor sun strike them. For he who has mercy on them will lead them. He will guide them by springs of water. I will make all my mountains a road, and my highways shall be exalted. Behold, these shall come from afar, and behold, these from the north and from the west, and these from the land of Sinim. Sing, heavens, and be joyful, earth. Break out into singing, mountains. For Yahweh has comforted his people, and will have compassion on his afflicted." But Zion said, "Yahweh has forsaken me, and the Lord has forgotten me." Can a woman forget her nursing child, that she should not have compassion on the son of her womb? Yes, these may forget, yet I will not forget you. Behold, I have engraved you on the palms of my hands. Your walls are continually before me. Your children hurry, your destroyers and those who devastated you will leave you. Lift up your eyes all around and see. All these gather themselves together and come to you. As I live, says Yahweh, you shall surely clothe yourself with them, all as with an ornament, and dress yourself with them like a bride. For as for your waste and your desolate places and your land that has been destroyed, surely now that land will be too small for the inhabitants, and those who swallowed you up will be far away. The children of your bereavement will say in your ears, "This place is too small for me. Give me a place to live in." Then you will say in your heart, "Who has conceived these for me, since I have been bereaved of my children, and am alone, in exile, and wandering back and forth? Who has brought these up? Behold, I was left alone. Where were these?" The Lord Yahweh says, "Behold, I will lift up my hand to the nations, and lift up my banner to the peoples. They shall bring your sons in their bosom, and your daughters shall be carried on their shoulders. Kings shall be your foster fathers, and their queens your nursing mothers. They will bow down to you with their faces to the earth, and lick the dust of your feet. Then you will know that I am Yahweh, and those who wait for me won't be disappointed. Shall the plunder be taken from the mighty, or the lawful captives be delivered?" But Yahweh says, "Even the captives of the mighty shall be taken away, and the plunder retrieved from the fierce. For I will contend with him who contends with you, and I will save your children. I will feed those who oppress you with their own flesh, and they will be drunk on their own blood as with sweet wine. Then all flesh shall know that I, Yahweh, am your Savior and your Redeemer, the Mighty One of Jacob." Oh, I would love to see that in current times. They would just sit back and watch God take care of all the people who oppress me. I would just sit back, just watch it all happen. Anyways, 1 Corinthians chapter 8. Freddie, I'm reading to my friends. Can you just hold on a minute, please? Just give me a minute. Here we go. 1 Corinthians chapter 8. Now concerning things sacrificed to idols, we know that we all have knowledge. Knowledge puffs up, but love builds up. But if anyone thinks that he knows anything, he doesn't yet know as he ought to know. But anyone who loves God is known by him. Therefore, concerning the eating of things sacrificed to idols, we know that no idol is anything in the world, and that there is no other God but one. For though there are things that are called gods, whether in heavens or on earth, as there are many gods and many lords, yet to us there is one God, the Father, of whom all things, and we for him, and one Lord, Jesus Christ, through whom are all things, and we lived through him. However, that knowledge isn't in all men, but some, with consciousness of an idol until now, eat as of a thing sacrificed to an idol, and their conscience, being weak, is defiled. But food will not commend us to God. For neither if we don't eat are we the worse, nor if we eat are we the better. But be careful that by no means does this liberty of yours become a stumbling block to the weak. For if a man sees you who have knowledge sitting in an idol's temple, won't his conscience, if he is weak, be emboldened to eat things sacrificed to idols? And through your knowledge, he who is weak perishes, the brother of whose sake Christ died. Thus, sinning against the brothers and wounding their conscience when it is weak, you sin against Christ. Therefore, if food causes my brother to stumble, I will not eat no meat forevermore, that I don't cause my brother to stumble. I heard an explanation of that long ago, and it pretty much means if we know somebody is struggling in a situation, off the top of my head, this is so surface level, but here's an example. Let's just say my friend is on a diet trying to lose weight, and I'm aware of it, and I invite her over to my house for friendship and laughter and coffee and chocolate cake. I am not going to sit there and eat the chocolate cake in front of my friend as she is trying to lose weight. She is struggling with something, and so I am not going to do this thing that I know will make life difficult for my friend. That is a very surface level example of what Paul is talking about. And, we all in our own relationships know that there are much deeper situations that I will not discuss on this channel, but we all have deeper situations. But that's pretty much what he's talking about. Okay, Psalm chapter 94, verses 12 through 19. Blessed is the man whom you discipline, Yah, and teach out of your law, that you may give him rest from the days of adversity, until the pit is dug for the wicked. For Yahweh won't reject his people, neither will he forsake his inheritance. For judgment will return to righteousness. All the upright in heart shall follow it. Who will rise up for me against the wicked? Who will stand up for me against the evildoers? Unless Yahweh had been my help, my soul would have soon lived in silence. When I said, my foot is slipping, your loving kindness, Yahweh, held me up. In the multitude of my thoughts within me, your comforts delight my soul. I have to read that again. This is verse 18. When I said, my foot is slipping, your loving kindness, Yahweh, held me up. In the multitude of my thoughts within me, your comforts delight my soul. And I hope he delights your soul too. I hope you found these words encouraging today. Thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you for your tolerance with Fred making all his noises in the background. I hope he's not too loud. I do live in a very small little space, and this is the only space that I can record. And it happens to be in Fred's bedroom. Because he owns the house. I just live here. So thank you, everybody, once again. Please come back for tomorrow, which will be day 165. Have a fantastic day today, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.